D, they, them from Iowa, a frequent caller, is asking, where does karma figure in this cycle of rebirth? D, are you with us here?
Yes, I am. Hi, guys.
Hi, D. Welcome to the show.
If you don't mind, Dee, let's keep this one real quick, because we do have lots of people on the call, and I do know that you go to the Talk Heathen after show and have those conversations as well, so we can expand on it there.
Sure.
But quickly ask your question, and then I'll respond as quickly as I can to it.
Well, I have always viewed Buddhism more as a process, and had never really thought of the idea of reincarnation as a punishment. So I'm wondering, does karma follow from life to life, or is it only operative during a single life, or is it a combination of both?
It's first of all, I'd just like to point out that it's not a punishment. It's very difficult when coming from a Western background and a Western perspective, and looking at Buddhist texts and things to kind of ascertain the kind of subtleties of the meanings of them, especially when you're looking at some of the more antiquated texts, some of the early translators of those texts who were very, very good and have given us a very, very good library of work from which to work from. But they were writing for a Western audience, and as such, they used Western terms to describe things. So rather than saying, they'd use translations such as good and evil for things. And what Buddhism actually means, there is no concepts of good and evil in those absolute kind of rights in Buddhism. What the Buddhist kind of ethical system points to is, rather than having good and evil things, is it has stuff which is beneficial towards the path of enlightenment, and those things which are a hindrance to a path towards enlightenment. Now, if you understand this and you read in some of these antiquated texts, it's not so much a problem. When you don't understand this, you can get a completely different meaning from those texts. So it's very important to understand the subtleties and the difference in translation between these modern texts and these older texts. And we also have the problem that, we've got Pali texts, which is a dead language. Is not used anywhere outside of the Buddhist texts. We've got texts written in Sanskrit, which is kind of a cousin of Pali, but it's still used. We've got texts written in early Buddhist texts written in Chinese. So we've got all these different translation kind of things to work through while we're going through. Regarding the specific question of is it just one life or is it multiple lives? There is no demarcation line between we do things in this one life, we get punished for stuff just in this one life, and I'm using that punishment word just because you used it. There are bad results of our actions from this life which go into a next life. It doesn't work like that. That we have had, according to the Buddhist scriptures, we have had countless lives before. There is a beginningless beginning in Buddhism. We have had countless lives, and it is the accumulation of actions, both positive towards the path and negative, which are hindrances towards the path, which have created these kind of karmic streams that we follow. So it's impossible just to pull it out and say, right, this is what the result of this in particular action and will be played out in this way. Does that answer your question?
Actually, it does, Richard. Thanks very much.
No problem. I'm going to let you go, Dee. I'll if you want to talk further on the subject, I will be in the after show.
For sure.
Thank you for that, Scott.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dee. We'll talk to you more in the after show. This is one of the reasons that I love being on the show when Richard's on too, because I always learn quite a bit about things that I didn't know before. So I appreciate that, Richard.